I'm going to be giving you some dirt, and I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice. Just tell you guys what I did wrong and what I did right. Did I pass? Did I fail the first time? Oh, in the real exam? Hey guys, my name is Mercy. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Mercy Medical, another video. So I am really pumped because I'm no longer a medical student, which is quite scary to be honest. Now you can refer to me as doctor. Pretty cool, huh? Not used to it. I don't think I'll feel it until residency, which I won't be starting this July. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Step 2 CS. I'm going to be giving you some dirt. No. I did a Kaplan, course, and I'm going to tell you guys how I did in that. And let me just say, it wasn't good. I'm going to give you all the details of what happened exactly, what I did, how I did. Did I pass? Did I fail the first time? You'll have to watch and see. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice, tell you guys what I did wrong and what I did right. Stick around if you're interested, but please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button because they'll really help me, as well as share if this video is something that your friend might enjoy. And also, if you don't follow me on my Instagram, go ahead and check me out there and follow me. And yeah, so that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and hit that bell button. Let's get to it. So first of all, what the hell is CS? So step 2 has two portions. You have the CK and the CS. CK is where you're sitting in front of a computer and you're doing all those hot questions. Yeah, I actually did a step 2 schedule. You should check it out. It's a video. Go ahead and check it out. I'll put it in the description box below. So with the CS, there are 5 locations, and of the 5 locations, I'm going to list them here, but the ones I know from the top of my head includes Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Illinois, somewhere in Texas, I think there's somewhere in California, and possibly in Georgia. But the one that I ended up going to was Philadelphia, thank goodness, because it's like 2 hours away from me. This is a pass and fail. But if you fail this, it looks so bad. And if you are a person that has already failed this, I'm sorry, that really sucks. Deal with it, it is what it is. Move on, make sure you don't fail the second time. The scheduling, that shit is so complicated. Excuse me, I'm still sick, so if I sound weird, it's because I'm still sick. But scheduling for CS is a BITCH. You have to make sure to schedule ahead of time. Unfortunately, my school really screwed up my timeline. Thankfully, for the next round of students, they changed it up, so for them, they can sign up for CS ahead of time, whereas for my class and the people before me, they had to pass CompShelf before they could sign up for CS. Whether you're MG or US, like everyone is competing for a location, for a spot to be tested. If you schedule today, it's for like 4 months later. So whenever you schedule it, you're going to get the scores about 6 to 8 weeks from the time that you took it. So if you're taking it in May, you'll have it in a decent time for you to apply for example, if you're applying this year, you'll be fine then. But if you're taking it, for example, I took it in November, and that is not good at all. Even taking it in October, not good. If you take it in August, still not good. You want to take it in July at the latest because it takes 6 to 8 weeks for it to come back, whether you've passed or failed, which is really frustrating. If you're taking it in November, for whatever reason, you end up in my timeline, but do not expect your score until end of January. So don't even bother applying for that year. Period. It's not a hard exam. Just keep watching. I'm going to tell you how you need to study for it. It's like 10-15 days, you're good to go. With that said, hopefully you had like great clinical experience though, where you had a lot of patient encounters. Honestly, you guys, with matching, it's really timing. I didn't realize how much that is important until I kind of gone through it. So I'm letting you guys know that the timing is super crucial. Oh, another thing that I would like to add is that with scheduling, you can actually pay someone to find you an earlier date. So for example, you have your set date in October, but you want to take it earlier, but that's the earliest date that they have available. You can actually hire someone to basically watch as the schedule changes. You pay them, they watch that, and they quickly insert you in. I actually did that. My original date was in January, and then I moved it all the way to November. You know what, like, it didn't even matter. Talk to your friends and get like some contact information. If you really want one, I can give you the person who looked it up for me. He was so cool, so fast, and it wasn't as expensive as some of my classmates had paid, which was pretty crazy. Let me know. You can DM me on my Instagram page, or you can email me and I'll give you his information. Okay, so now in terms of how to study for it, you can use the Kaplan or you can use first aid. Everyone uses first aid, and whenever I looked at first aid is freaking awesome. I was actually looking through Kaplan thinking I was looking through first aid because I was using the PDF on my laptop, but I was just done with the CK exam. I was so over it. Getting back to study for CS was a little difficult, and plus I was just like, what is this? Like, how am I even supposed to study? You really have to just practice with a partner, and I didn't have a partner, so I'm going to tell you how I did it without a partner. I mean, well, I kind of technically did. It's really nice to have like someone that is taking it about the same time as you, like a friend. Because then you guys can be each other's patients, because all you have to do is just get in the habit of asking the right questions, get in the habit of doing it in the proper order and efficiently, because time is of an issue, and then doing your physical exam. The physical exam is always going to be focused. Do not do excessive physical exam, especially like the heart and the lungs. You want to make sure you're doing it right. And then the abdomen, you're definitely going to get all three of those systems, and you're gonna get one neuro case for sure. And I hate like working with other people's schedule, so then I was just like, I got it, I'm just gonna do it by myself. But then I realized like you just can't. You need someone to kind of be the patient. So thankfully, shout out to my little sister. She was absolutely amazing. She spent like hours throughout her day with me, and we went through cases on Kaplan, and then we switched once I realized I was doing Kaplan, which actually Kaplan was good, but I switched over to first aid like the last couple of days. So basically through FaceTime, that's how I practiced with my little sister. So she would run through the case, I would ask her the right appropriate questions, so she would check mark which ones I've asked, which ones I didn't ask, and then we would kind of go through that way. And then for physical, I would kind of talk through what I did. So with the Kaplan course, let me tell you guys, the Kaplan course, I totally failed it. And the reason why I failed it, questions were too long, so I spent too much time on that. And then there was a lot of mean comments that was actually said about me, which I'll read to you guys. But I just had such a bad day. And after the Kaplan course, I literally had 4 more days. At the end of the Kaplan course, like I went to the lady who taught it, and she's like, I would reschedule. And I was just like, no, but I think I can do it, and it's just this, that. And she was just like, well, how about you redo your notes and then email them to me, and I'll let you know whether I think you should reschedule or not. So you have 12 rooms, and you're going to be standing right in front of the door that your patient's in. So let's say you start at door 1. So you stand in front of the door, and you'll hear a bell, and the bell's going to let you know that you can start. And you have 15 minutes to get your physical exam, and then come out, and you have 10 minutes for your notes, and then you go to the next one. So that's how it's gonna go. Now if you only needed 10 minutes for the history and physical, then you have that 5 minutes towards your notes. So the sooner you get done with that, the sooner, or the more time you'll have for your notes. Once the bell goes off, you're going to open up this like little sheet that's on the door. You're going to slide that open. You're going to read the vignette to see like what's going on. You'll get like the name, the vital signs, and what they're here for. And then you'll go in, and it also tells you, I think, whether you need to do a physical exam as well. And the Kaplan one, it's going to tell you don't need to do a physical exam. Another quick tip for the Kaplan is that if they're dressed, you're not going to do a physical, because even in the actual exam, if they're dressed, you're not doing a physical exam on them. After you read the little sheet, you're going to knock on the door, and you're going to go in. Always wash your hands first. Once you wash your hands, as you're washing your hands, you can introduce yourself, and then you'll get the history, then you'll do the physical exam, and then you're going to leave and do the notes once you're done. Really learn your differentials. You don't need to always have 3 differentials. You can have 2, and that's fine. So as long as you have 2 differentials and you have pertinent positives for it, you'll be fine. And you can include like pertinent negatives as well, but make sure that you have like, you back up why you think this patient has what your differentials are. Now the Kaplan course is so much harder because they really pick at everything that you do, especially the patients. The patients are so mean. The actual patients in the CS, they're really nice. They are fair. They're very fair. They're not gonna try to throw you off. The Kaplan course is so much harder. Patients are ridiculously mean, and that's why I'm gonna share like some of the comments that they said about me. Like, it was so freaking mean. Reading through them, I'm like, what? They're watching every move you make. Every move. So let me read to you guys some of the comments. So again, this is the Kaplan course. 3 distinct patients. One patient, you have to let them know that they have cancer. Now, you're not going to do a physical exam, but you want to get a history from them. So before you establish or before you let them know their results for the biopsy that they previously had, you want to first get a history. I screwed up. So I ended up just jumping into the results. I didn't really get a proper history. This was my first patient as well, by the way. She started screaming. So the game plan for this one is to see if you can handle someone like screaming, if you can console them. And so that's what you want to do. You want to calm her down and bring her to not being so frantic and emotional. I mean, because obviously it's an emotional situation, but you want to really like sit in front of her, eye level, and touch her as well. You're not going to touch inappropriately. So usually the shoulder is a safe spot. You don't want to do the knee, especially if you're a guy. So there's a case, I don't want to say it because I don't want to ruin it for you, just in case you're taking that course and they have it for you. But the lady like really acts her part out. I mean, really acts the disease out. I felt like she was actually like having a situation. So I'm like, do I like leave the room and let them know that something's wrong with her? She did a really good job. When you're in situations, you forget to do like the simple things, which includes like washing your hands or hand sanitizer before you touch the patient. I think this was my second or third patient. I got very uncomfortable really quick because she started out with an attitude and I forgot to wash my hands, or I usually sanitize, so I forgot to sanitize my hands. So then she's like, are you gonna touch me with your dirty hands? She was just so sour the whole time. I tend to make jokes, that's like my icebreaker, but with her, like at first I was just not getting through. I knew like what I was doing with my jokes because I think I'm funny. She just hated me because after I didn't hand sanitize, I was Mark 1. Mark 2, which was definitely stupid. Whenever I auscultated, I pulled up her breast, and you can't do that. I should have said, can you please lift your breast and listen to your heart? But I didn't, and I tried to do it myself. Don't do that, don't do that. That was bad. She yelled at me. She already yelled at me for my hands, and then she screamed at me again. And I'm like, oh fuck. Whoops. So that was that. And then, oh, in the real exam, so there's someone that was sour as well, but I joked around, obviously kept it professional, and then she warmed up to me and she began to laugh. They might try to throw you off by being difficult on purpose, but just remember that. That's like their way of trying to see if you can communicate, if you have that skill to make your patient comfortable. You have to always use their title, so if they give you a name, you want to use it consistently throughout the visit. So if they say like Natasha, you want to say, so Natasha, blah 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 blah, and then later on, Natasha, so tell me about blah 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 blah. So use their name. Though you seemed to know what you were doing, you were so fast through the physical exam that you didn't give very clear instructions or announcements through it, and just sort of assumed I knew what you were doing or what you wanted. It felt like you didn't really care how I was feeling or what would make me feel the most comfortable. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the bad ones, the really mean ones here. Did not keep from imposing standards on patients, such as religious or personal preference. I asked her if she wants to get pregnant in the future, and I don't know why she said religious, because it's not a religious thing, but a personal preference. I guess like I would want a kid, and I guess she didn't want a kid, and I guess I kind of indicated like why. It was really stupid. It was my fault. I was like, fuck, like what did I just say? So that was really bad of me. But So I'll give her that, but she was just mean. Did not give patient time to think. That's true, because I was trying to hurry up, so I didn't give her enough time. Did not make eye contact when asking questions and or listening to respond. Spent too much time on clipboard. That's not true. I kept on looking at her. I definitely was looking up. So I would look down, and then I even asked her, I even said, I apologize, I'm gonna look down a few times, but know that I'm giving you my full attention. Stupid. No, but I mean, I'm pretty, like, I'm very sure I kept on looking up. Sorry, I'm getting annoyed now. Okay. Did not drape before starting physical exam. I probably didn't, yeah. Did not have sufficient pauses, appropriate silences. Like, how many appropriate silences? Okay, I think I was going a little fast, so fine, I'll give her that. Did not use open-ended questions. Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure I did in the beginning. I'm not gonna do it throughout the whole thing. I wanted answers, so, and she wasn't giving me shit, so. She's probably right. I probably did it, I don't know. Summarize significant information. Don't forget to do the summary not in the beginning, but after the physical exam as part of the conclusion. I always do a summary after the chief complaint. So after getting a summary of the chief complaint, never do it after physical exam. It doesn't make sense to do it after physical exam. But I guess you can do it after physical exam, and apparently she thought I was supposed to, but that's not true. You can do it after the history, and then you move on to the physical exam. Did not justify diagnosis with evidence of encounter. So if you are going to give diagnosis or what you think it possibly is, you have to make sure you back it up. I guess I didn't. Did not acknowledge and respond to patient's reaction to diagnosis. I honestly can't remember. I honestly did not think in my head that it went as bad as this. I mean, just that one part, I thought I definitely did horribly, but I thought I got myself out of it. And I thought, like, from the way she was talking back to me, the way she was explaining things, did not take that offense to it, but clearly she did. Okay, so during this encounter, you asked questions and had actions that were so quick that I didn't really get to a chance to respond or do anything about it, so I felt out of control. As a patient who is feeling a bit anxious as well, your energy only made me feel more nervous and not as cared for. I'll definitely give her that I was talking really fast, and I tend to talk really fast, so I have to really slow myself down. Especially when I get nervous, I talk even faster, or if I'm like under time pressure, then I talk even faster. So that was something that I had to practice to slow myself down. So if you have something of a similar issue, make sure to practice that, so that way you're not doing it in the real actual exam. As much as she killed me, I read through these, I read through all of them, and some parts like really make you mad, and I got really aggravated, but at the same time I was like, okay, let me take these points in, let me make sure that I'm paying attention to that, to this and that, and like I'm not actually repeating those mistakes. I'm being conscious, because sometimes you just unconsciously do things, so then I began to be more conscious about things that I did. I'm usually very professional. These people like went on another level. Okay, I'm like being defensive. You spoke so quickly it was occasionally hard to understand you, so blah 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 blah. Okay, next freaking patient. Did not have sufficient pauses, appropriate silences, so again I talked pretty quick. Did not ask about impact on patient's life. I don't think I ever did. I probably have that a lot. Did not ask of what patient's thought was going on. So these are the things I missed. Like there's a lot of checklists that they have to go through. Oh, another thing, a patient is going to be in excruciating pain and she's gonna want you to just give her pain meds. You want to still hold on to the fact that you cannot give her painkillers until you know what's going on. So that's something you're gonna constantly have to reassure her, because she's gonna constantly scream at you, or he, that they're in pain and they want pain meds. So that is one of the, like, kind of seeing if you can deal with a patient that's in pain. Get the appropriate information, get the history, get the physical anyway. Just be really empathetic, just be really nice about it. Oh, okay, here's one. So my makeup is pretty. The only thing that I do extra is my eyeliner. Like right now, obviously I have a lot of makeup on, but during like the clinicals and stuff like that, I'm pretty much like neutral. I'm very neutral. The only thing that's exaggerated is my eyeliner. I'll do the wing. I love winged eyeliners. And so I had eyeliner, so I don't understand why this girl says this. I was a bit surprised by your heavy eye makeup, tousled hair, and high boots. Lab coat seemed a bit dingy. Rude. My lab coat, I think, was wrinkles because I didn't like iron it, so that could be one. Okay, fine, I'll give her the lab coat. And then the eye makeup, it was not heavy, I assure you. It was just because I had eyeliner. But I will add that my mascara did run a little. Paraphrasing would have made me feel more confident that you were carefully listening to me, so I guess I didn't paraphrase. I appreciated your sympathy for my husband's death, but would have appreciated you not assuming he's living. Had you given me the reassurance of telling me that you or a nurse would return right away, I would have felt less worried and alone. So there's that. Okay. After doing this course, I went home and I remember I was so freaked out. It cost more to reschedule than the actual exam price. Over $1,600 to reschedule. Yeah. Then I like really studied. Another thing that I did, which was really nice with the Kaplan course, is after seeing all those 12 patients, you have like time for lunch, and then she's gonna teach you. So, or he or she, whoever is doing it. So ours was a lady, and she taught us, and she said what to do and what not to do. There's an online portion, and I wasn't really paying attention to the online portion as much. Like in the beginning I did, and then you kind of like, I get distracted easy, so it's really hard for me to stay focused. So my attention span is very small, and so it was really hard for me to pay attention during the online session, and that was like forever ago as well. And so after going through that that lesson, like I was like, oh shit, like this is what I was doing wrong, and this is where I was wasting a lot of my time. So that was really helpful in that aspect. So I made sure to really listen and pay attention to that portion, and I was a lot better. And I think just from that lesson, and then I took the next several days, I think I had 4 days after that, and then those 4 days I really focused on what I was doing wrong, and like I really changed it up, and I think that was good. That's what essentially made it better. And honestly, the Kaplan course was so much harder, so that's another thing to remember. Even if you fail it, you feel confident enough that you think you're gonna do well, I would go through. So yeah, like just keep practicing. Honestly, you guys will get it down. Stay really focused and practice with a partner. Constantly practice. Get your timing down, get your notes down, get the pertinent positives and negatives down, and you should be good. I remember getting out of the actual exam, and I felt like good. I felt like, oh shit, like I know I didn't fail that, but I was still very like okay, I need to see that pass sign, and it took forever for it to come. I was getting really nervous. Just keep practicing with a partner, you'll be fine. Like I assure you, you'll be fine, especially if you had a lot of clinical experiences with a history and physical taking, then you should be fine. And now I'm going to talk about the actual exam. So obviously I'm not going to give away just because I don't want to get in trouble. But the actual exam, there was a lot of GI. There was a cardio or 2 cardio. There was RESP. There was, all systems were there. Okay, so I'm just going to end this off with some tips. Be really polite. That itself is going to give you a lot of points. So just be polite, be courteous, be patient. Definitely talk slow because you want them to understand what you're saying, which is something that I had trouble with, and that's something I practiced after the Kaplan course. Stand up straighter, stand up taller, look confident and appear as like a doctor that knows their shit. Let them know that you are, you know, you're there for them. Yes, these are fake patients, but they're human beings, and just just act nice, just act like normal, like act like this is actually a real situation. So the more you try to put that in your head, the better you're going to get out of it. One thing I had trouble with was their name. So I wrote, I mean obviously because I already had the name written out, I would underline it the number of times that I said it. So that way that kind of gave me that, okay, you actually use their name, and that gives better rapport with them. I think one of the most important things about the CS is are you personable? Are you a doctor that someone's gonna trust, and you're not just all brains, but you're actually, you know, a good person to talk to, and you show that you're caring and you are human. So that's really important. Don't forget to rinse your hand. I wouldn't rinse it. I would use the hand sanitizer because rinsing takes forever. If you need that time to get things rolling, then go ahead and wash your hand because it will give you that time. But remember to excuse yourself as you're washing your hand because you don't want to kind of wash your hand and they're right behind you and you're speaking, because that's inappropriate. So just be like, can you give me 1 second? I'm just going to quickly wash my hands, and then go ahead and wash your hands. And then it's okay. Don't feel like it's awkward. It's okay. You could just wash your hands because they're not going to take points off that. And then you turn around and be like, so how are you doing? Like, what brings you? You don't want to be too casual, but you know, you do want to be friendly. I think that's it. I talked so much. I was not intending for this video to be this long. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that was really helpful. Let me know if you have any comments, any questions, any thoughts, and if you did your CS, what was your experience like? Did you do the Kaplan course? What was your experience like with them? Did you have some mean patients, whether in the course that you took beforehand or the actual experience? Let me know. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button, and definitely share this video as that will be really helpful to me, and follow me on my social media platforms, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys once again. Yeah, bye guys. Okay, seriously, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I don't know what you're waiting for, because your girl is a doctor who doesn't have a residency work, but we won't talk about it. What?